Hello guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Same on my channel where we talk about decks coming out later on in the game, discuss them, look at them, see how good they are, and hopefully they're good and will be better in the future. And today we're obviously with Charmander, as always, because he's my little Charmander. We love Charmander. Don't start getting angry at me because I pet you. Yeah. But yeah, we're with Charmander today, and we're going to be looking at a new archetype. Now, this seems to be a continuation on the Dogmatika lore, coming out later on in the game, and I want to see what it does. It literally says it's Albez's bizarre adventure continues, like saying it's like a JoJo's bizarre adventure. But it's called the Despia archetype, and it seems like it's everything that's inside that hole, the hole inside the lore of the archetype, and I'm curious to see what it is, because you got some interesting looking cards here. But let's go ahead and see what the first thing is. So, corrupt religious figures. Who would have guessed? Well, yeah, we already knew Maximus was corrupt as hell when he had the freaking hands, the whole hands. So it's not that surprising. But let's see what it is. So the first monster we got here is a level 1. So Despia of Tragedy. So this is like a jester, I guess. Dark Fairy effect, level 1, 0 attack, 2000 in defense. You can only use either of this card's first or second effect once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-up Despia card you control, quick effect, you discard this card, negate that effect. You see, I always hate cards like this that have an effect that just says, oh, your opponent activates an effect that targets? Well, it doesn't really do anything. Like activates a card or effect that targets. Like, not a lot of cards in the game target, and that's my issue with that, because people are normally playing cards that say don't target, or people are playing cards that just say, oh yeah, we target, but very rarely. Like, we never target at all. Like, the only card right now in the game that I can think that targets is Imperm, and having a hand trap here like this that just says, oh yeah, you target me and I can discard this to negate it, it doesn't do me any favors or any justice to say that this is a good card. Like, it's good to have the negation, but if it was an effect, if it was a card that said when your opponent activates a card that affects a Despia monster, I would say that's better. And I know that might be bad terminology, or there might be better ways to say it, but targets is just something I don't like. But let's continue on anyway. So, second effect, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you contribute 1 fusion monster, special summon this card. Okay, so these guys tribute extra deck monsters, I'm guessing, to summon themselves, and obviously he's got the hole all around him. Cool. It looks like they're in the Dogmatika Nation as well, so they just opened up. So after the ritual monster came through, this is probably the rest that came through as well. What's next? So, Despia of Tragedy. Now this one really looks like a jester. That's kind of interesting. So it's a Dark Fairy effect monster, level 1, 400 attack, and you can only use first and second effect once per turn each. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, you can add 1 Despia monster from your deck to your hand, except Despia Tragedy. Okay, so this is pretty much just like the same as something like the Tri-Brigade, the level 1 Tri-Brigade, that when it's sent to the graveyard, you just get to go ahead and search a Tri-Brigade monster. So this is just the generic searcher, Foolish Burial it, get a search, pretty nice. That's always nice to have a card that just says when it's sent to graveyard. If it was sent from field to grave, I'd be upset, but obviously not, and it has to be sent by a card effect as well, so you can't just link it off and then get a free search, so that is a downside to it, but there's probably ways to utilize it a lot better in that way. But what's its second effect? You banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Stigmatica spell/trap in your graveyard, set it to your field. Okay, so this allows you to set the Stigma cards. Alright. That's kind of good, because having a way to reset your Stigma cards is actually pretty nice, because like we got a ton of Stigmata cards in the set that's coming up for us in the TCG, but the previous sets in the OCG, with which all form around Albez and Albez fusion summoning into this big red dragon. So that's actually kind of nice. It's a little bit of support for other archetypes, which is cool. And what's this? that actually looks kind of cool. Let me see that artwork. That looks sick. He's got like a mask there. That looks, I like that. That looks really cool. Okay, so what's it do? So it's Albert, the Jester of Despair. His name's Albert. Is this going to be Albez's cousin? Or brother or something? Like, he's literally called Albert. Or Albert, as it says here. Like, OCG be making brothers for Albez. Okay, cool. Or Nullius Filius, as it's called in the TCG. So it's a Dark Fairy effect, level 4, 1800 attack, 0 defense. That's literally the same stats as Albez, I think. So that's cool, kind of interesting. First effect, if this card is one more special summon, you can add 1 Stigmata spells that's trapped from your deck to your hand. Free searching, nice. Second effect, if a fusion monsters you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, special summon this card. And if you do, negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. That's alright. Like, if your face-up fusion monster you control dies or leaves the field, just because your opponent in any way, shape, or form, you get to go ahead and target an effect monster your opponent controls and just negate it and get a free summon. Like, free negation, free summon, pretty good, not gonna lie. There's literally no downsides to this card, and it's a free searcher, it's literally Strauss. Interesting. And that's Maximus. That's Maximus right there. Yep. That's Maximus. Okay, Maximus has taken on a new form. So, Dramaturgia of Despia. Dramaturge? I don't know, man. I don't know. Dark Fairy effect, free, literally opposite stats to Maximus as well. This is definitely just Maximus. Level 8, 3000 attack, 1500 defense. First effect, if a fusion, synchro, Xyz / link monster is a special summon, you can target 1 effect monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. So your opponent just special summons anything from the extra deck, you negate that card's effects. Second effect, if this card is used as material for a fusion summon from the hand or field and sent to the graveyard, or banished, you can special summon it. Wait, what? That's actually really nice. Like, just fusion it away, get a free summon. That's pretty good, and then you also get a negate out of it as well if your opponent summons from the extra deck. That's actually pretty decent. Okay. That's actually that's really nice. That's actually really good. And what are you? You're new. Okay. Despian Poretis, Light Fiend Fusion Effect, level 8, 2500 attack, 2500 defense, 1 Despia monster plus 1 light or dark monster. Okay. So this is just generic Despia's fusion. Because I'm pretty sure all the monsters are light or dark mixed, right? No, they're not. They're all dark monsters. But obviously you can mix in with the Dogmatika and use the Dogmatika to make it. So that's probably why it's a light as well. But let's see what its effects are. So during the main phase, quick effect, you can change the attack of all face-up monsters currently on the field to 0. Except level 8 or higher fusion monsters. This is an OTK card. This reminds me of Utopia Beyond, but Utopia Beyond is just a lot easier to summon. So this is actually kind of nice. And if you use it summoning it with Dramaturge, that's an instant 5/5 damage on any of your opponent's attack position monsters. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. What's its second effect? If this face-up card you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can add to your hand or special summon 1 Despia monster or Fallen of Albez from your deck. Now, this just gets better, because this has the, basically, this is the fusion monster that would be normally an Albez fusion, where if the Albez fusion is sent to graveyard, you get to go ahead and special summon a Fallen of Albez, or you get to go ahead and special summon a respective archetype, such as with the Robot Dragon, which Albez rides, you get to go ahead and summon the Spriggan or Albez. The Bastard Dragon, you get to go ahead and summon Albez or a Dogmatika. The Tri-Brigade version, you get to summon a Tri-Brigade or a Albez. Like, this is that version, but the Despia one, which is kind of interesting, because you're not using Albez to make it. So it's kind of cool to see that they've made a different one, but they've still included the Full of Albez effect. So that's actually kind of interesting to me. But let's see. So Despian Processium. This reminds me of the statue, the Dogmatika statue, which I can't remember the name of right now. I'll probably have it on the screen. But if this is what the actual statue is supposed to represent, then that is some twisted crap right there. Like, the Dogmatika faith is just completely twisted. Cool though. So it takes 1 Despia monster plus 1 light monster and plus 1 dark monster. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target one Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster in your opponent's graveyard. Either banish it or special summon it to your field. Wait, what? You just get to go ahead and target an extra monster in your opponent's graveyard and take it? Okay, I like that. Second effect, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to them equal to the destroyed monster's original attack or defense, whichever is higher. So that's pretty much just like a Tropological Bomber Dragon effect. Yeah, this is the statue pretty much, I'm pretty sure, because the statue that you banish extract monsters from either player's graveyard, I'm pretty sure. It might not. It's been a while since I've read the card. But it has an effect based on the Fusion, Synchro, and Links, and if you destroy them, you get to destroy all of those types on the field. So that's actually really cool. I actually really like every one of these monsters to an extent, except for the first one. Like, this one, I just don't like this one. Like, I just don't like the fact that it's a targeting stopper. If it was just an effect stopper, I would have been a lot more happier, but, you know, it is how Konami be making their cards. But let's go on to the spells now. So, Despia, the Stigmatica, Theater. Okay. That's just crashed on top of the Dogmatika Nation. Wow. They literally just crushed the Dogmatika Nation. This lore's getting better. I really wish they'd make a book of this. So, first effect. During your main phase, you can fusion one level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. This is... Wait, this is Fusion Gate? Yo, they made Fusion Gate! Okay. Wow. Like, during your main phase, you can fusion summon literally one level 8 or higher fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand. This is literally Fusion Gate. Okay, Konami made another Fusion Gate, and this doesn't banish the monsters. Okay, I really like this card. Okay, let's see what else it does. So second effect, if a face-up non-fusion fairy monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can target one level 8 or higher fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Well then. So it's just free revivability and it's Fusion Gate. I like it. I like this field spell. Like, I like it just for the fact that it's a Fusion Gate. Second effect's pretty good as well. Like, not gonna lie. What's the effect after it? Oh wow, that's actually an epic war. You got the Tri-Brigade there. I think that's the no, that's a Tri-Brigade as well. Okay, the Tri-Brigade fighting a war. Interesting. Like, you got Fajit there and everything. Stigmatica, Curtain Raise. Quick effect, quick spell. First effect is you can discard one card, then to add to your hand or special summon in defense position one Despia monster from your deck. You cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this effect resolves, except fusion monsters. That's absolutely fine. Like, a lot of the cards just said you can't, well, special summon any extra deck monsters when it comes to Dogmatika, but the Stigma seemed to have a, well, the Despia, sorry, seemed to have a big thing with the, well, with fusion monsters, so this is just really, really nice. Second effect, though, if a fusion monsters you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's protection for any of your fusion monsters. That's actually pretty good too. Like, being a free summon for any of the Despia monsters, being just, in general, just a protection. It's a really, really nice card, and I feel like that's actually really good. So, cool. And that's the last card. That's the last card. Are you serious? That's all we get? Like, I'm not gonna lie. All of these things are really cool, and I like every one of these cards except for this one. This one, I just don't like this one, really. Like, seriously, you had to have one of these stupid hand trap-esque effects to say, oh, you tried to target me, now you can't, and yeah. But enough of that. Like, this deck, to me, looks really cool. And being just a continuation of the Dogmatika lore with owlbears and Ecclesia going through the desert, and now obviously that they're no longer in the Dogmatika Nation, and the fact that in the last set we got the Knighted turned into this corrupt version of itself. So for release now, like this corrupt knight, it's really, really cool just to see all of this happening in like the Dogmatika Nation, and after the coronation of that small girl that Maximus coronated, which we still haven't got a card for yet. I'm still curious who that girl is and what she is. So whenever Maximus gives us that, or whenever the Konami choose to give us that, that'll be cool. But the card that interests me the most is this one. And that's because this lore, Albez could have a brother. And if Albez has a brother, that would make this story even more interesting. But guys, anyway, I'm talking enough. Obviously, Maximus has got his changed form. We've got new fusion monsters, one that allows you to OTK really easy, one that just says, I'm going to steal stuff from your graveyard, and then we've got really cool spells, which is like this fusion spell, field spell, which is really, really cool, and a quick play spell that allows you to special summon from the deck, like the Tri-Brigade spell does. But, guys, what is your thoughts on the Despia archetype, though? Do you think this is a good archetype? Do you think this is a bad archetype? Do you think you would be using this with anything? Maybe mix it with the Dogmatika to make it a bit better of an archetype. Personally, I feel like it's really cool. I feel like it has a lot of potential. And I can definitely see this being like a Super Poly target deck where you play 3 Super Poly, you play the Despia monsters, and you have things like that in there too. I might even test that out online and maybe do a video on that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me what your thoughts are on the Despia monsters in the comment section below. Do you think this archetype is good? Do you think the Dogmatika lore is getting even better? And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, guys. So that's it for now. Robot1 signing out. And I really like the Despia. They are really cool. Later all.